This movie is The Rock versus an earthquake. San Andreas, directed by Brad Payton, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Ray. He is a fire and rescue helicopter pilot who has an ex-wife named Emma, played by Carla Gugino, and a daughter named Blake, played by Alexander Dorado. Ray has a lot of rescues under his belt, but he also has the one that he wasn't able to save, his youngest daughter, Mallory, who we lost in a rafting accident. Ray is about to find out that the San Andreas fault, the fault line that goes under the spine of California, is about to give California the biggest earthquake it ever had. His ex-wife Emma and his daughter Blake are right smack in the middle. So he's got to find a way to rescue both of them and these two British brothers, Ben and Ollie, who are traveling around with Blake. Ben is played by Hugo Johnston-Burt, and Ollie's played by Art Parkinson, who Blake meet at her mother's boyfriend's building while Ben is there for a job interview. And for some reason he has his brother there, and I gotta ask, who brings their brother to a job interview? Really, who brings their little 11-year-old brother to a job interview? That makes no sense. But anyway, just for the sake of comic relief. We have our cliche scientist that has to predict everything before it happens. Lawrence, played by Paul Giamatti. He is a seismologist who is an expert on earthquakes. And of course, we have a cliche villain, Johann Gufford's character, the former Reed Richards from the previous two Fantastic Four films. He plays Daniel Riddick, a very selfish douchebag who is dating Emma. This movie is your typical Roland Emmerich style disaster movie with mostly CGI effects to show the disaster instead of models, which was traditionally used in movies like Earthquake, Titanic, Poseidon Adventure. This movie is more like 2012 or Day After Tomorrow kind of movie. The acting for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Carla Gugino, and Alexander Dorado, as well as the two British brothers, is great. Paul Giamatti's great too. Johann Gufford is pretty good, playing a selfish douchebag in the movie. Art Parkinson is a little bit annoying, but okay comic relief. And that's pretty much for our main characters. The negatives of the movie is that this movie has every Roland Emmerich cliche you can think of, and 3D, not necessary. If you want to see it in the theater, I'd say 2D, low matinee, or just rent it. It's almost not even necessary to see it in the theater, but I did get a pretty good experience of almost feeling the quakes as I was watching it. One of the things I did like though about this movie was Alexander Dorado's performance of knowing what to do in case an earthquake actually happens, knowing that you have to go for landlines or other stuff in order to call for help or trying to survive. And that part was actually very good and very informative. That's one of the best parts I thought of the whole movie. Alexander Dorado's performance and how calm she was to the whole darn thing. So overall, I'm going to give this movie a C+. Definitely check this out, either rental or low matinee.